The Lions and no can do. 7 straight strikeouts for Kade Anderson to start this game. Unfathomable if you think about it. He is a true freshman.
And look at this. This is that 91 mile an hour fastball that we talked about up in the zone.
What up? What up? What up? Welcome back to another episode of the In Off the Bench podcast. I am Daniel Ball. I'm joined as always by my co-host, my partner in crime, my brother from another mother, Jim Cross. And Jim, it's a BOGO. We talked LSU baseball last night, and we're going to get one for free tonight. Another LSU baseball episode. We're talking to Kade Anderson. He's dealing. You saw him in the intro just throwing that thing, man. But before we get to Kade and get
here's the thing, Daniel. I gotta cut you, man. The intro would have been too long. I watched all 7 of the strikeouts, and then he even got out of the jam later in the inning, throwing a couple more. I mean, the K's were stacking up.
I don't believe it when he's throwing gas, dude. That intro, you could put all 7 on here. They're so fast.
I know, but then people were like, "You got a 5-minute intro." I was like, they can go to YouTube and catch the clips.
Yeah. YouTube.
Matter of fact, that's a plug for YouTube. Going over there.
There you go. Going over to YouTube. Click like, subscribe, notifications, because when this thing drops, it's gonna be fast. Not as fast as K's fastball, but super fast. Anyhow, the sponsors. It's holiday season. I know everyone's looking for that special gift for that special someone. You want to stuff those stockings. You want to do it all. Make sure you visit our sponsor, Chinook Seedery. Whether you're on the field or in the boardroom signing deals, Chinook helps you get the job done. 8 flavors, mild to wild. Go pick up your favorite or just pick up an original bag because they're all dynamite except for dill pickle. Memphis City Designs. Get your brands, gear, and logo on everything from shoes to underoos. You can get your in off the bench gear while supplies last. I got my hoodie. I got that Memphis colored hoodie on. They also got your team's colors in stock right now. Check them out. If you're Grizz, you're Tigers, go by. They got the best, the hottest, the latest T-shirts, hoodies, sweats, you name it. They get you covered for the holiday season. Old Dominic Distillery. Experience 150 years of tradition in the heart of downtown Memphis. From bourbon to vodka, whiskey to gin, Old Dominic's got you covered. Stop in today for a tour or to pick up your favorite bottle. It's holiday parties left and right. You don't want to come empty-handed. Be the life of the party. Go to Old Dominic's. Get your favorite bottle. Take it with you. I promise you, you'll be the remembered person there. And with that, Jim, we got to get to Kade, man. Got to get to Kade. We got to talk pitching. We got to talk the bump. We got to talk it all. So help me welcome on to the show with the biggest interview in podcasting this week, our man, LSU baseball star, Kade Anderson.
Kade, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Glad to be on the show and enjoyed to talk to y'all.
Absolutely, man. It puts LSU in the top spot, Daniel. Got one more guest in Tennessee. We were explaining to Derek what Jake Brown already knows, the in-off-the-bench effects for whatever reason. The last 4 seasons, whatever team has had the most guests has won the national championship, literally from Mississippi State all the way to Tennessee. And right now, LSU and Tennessee are fighting for that top spot as an LSU fan. Any LSU baseball guest wants to come on here, we'll book them, and that's why we'll do back-to-back. But super stoked after watching you last season, just getting your story. But before we do that, got to know, coming off Thanksgiving holiday, how was your Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it was great. Kind of time to hang out with family that we don't have much time and around baseball, and I've enjoyed having the break, and it's good to be back though.
Yeah, that's one of the things, man. People don't understand when it's the off season, especially in the fall. I get to go down there a decent amount, but even if I don't, the clips are pumping of y'all at practice every day, constant scrimmages, setting up exhibitions. It basically feels like full season. And so there's not much time for break. On top of that, you're doing your academics and everything. But I love to see it because it gets y'all truly ready, when the springtime rolls around. The question I wanted to ask, and normally this is something that I would ask in the LSU section, but I got asked this by my LSU fan group. They wanted to know, curious from you, what was your favorite stadium you pitched in last year?
Oh, that's a hard one, but I got to play in some unique atmospheres and kind of got thrown to the wolves in some scenarios in the SEC. There's a couple that kind of come to mind, but honestly, I think the Hoover tournament is we were rolling in the time, and I think that was really an electric atmosphere to kind of kind of do what I do best. And I'd say, honestly, going back to, I think everyone knows this, but Alex Box Stadium, and if you could pitch there, you could pitch in the big league. So kind of the environment that you kind of go through, and with the guys that we have, it's an electric atmosphere. And I think once we get prepared for that this season, I think we'll be prepared for anything.
Yeah, we're going to get into it later. Got some big matchups coming this weekend. But yeah, I was there in Hoover. Daniel, I sent you the videos and the pictures. LSU and Tennessee's fan bases were locked in. It made it electric through the whole tournament all the way to playing each other. So, and you obviously did well. So I know that made it just that much better. The other question I got for you, we always do icebreaker and, kind of ask music, kind of gives us a vibe, gives us an understanding of our guest. If you could go see any one musician in concert that you haven't seen, who are you going to see?
Ooh, that I haven't seen?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big country fan, so I enjoy country music.
Don't do it. Don't do it to me, Kade.
I don't think you honestly might not know who this is, but it's kind of a rising guy that I kind of been listening to a little bit. But I got two. I'll name two, but one's Hudson Westbrook, and the other one is I listen to them a lot. It's Treaty Oak.
Okay.
And
he didn't have a problem with you saying country. He just didn't want you to say Morgan Wallen because
I figured that would be the one that he was talking
I mean,
about.
dude's feeling it so much that it's the answer every time. So what we got?
Oh yeah.
Blues country feel.
Yeah, I enjoy all types of country music. Not a big rap guy, but
He says that, and then we have guys who say they're not big into rap, and then their walk-up song will be a rap song. That always made me laugh.
well, you got to get the crowd going in some scenario, and you can't have a slow song like that.
I mean, you can. Hey, it's whatever gets you going.
Yeah, it ain't about the fans. I mean, it's all about you. Let's be real. Like,
Yeah.
screw those thousands of fans out there. It's about getting you pumped up. If throwing 90 plus off the bump takes, your boy Hudson, then put him on, man. Let's get it. I mean, I have a feeling like if you were to play that, you would get some country girls and some dudes out there just vibing. I feel it. I think you could roll with that. But
as long as he's throwing strikes, he can listen to whatever he wants.
Yeah, that's true. Wins get you a lot of cred, man. And you can play whatever. That's what I hear. That's just what I hear around there. But let's get to you, man. Tell me about home. Where's home for you?
Yeah, so I grew up on the North Shore, which is Mandeville, Louisiana, and like I said, Jim's a big LSU fan, so I think that everyone knows in Louisiana the kind of the environment that you kind of dream about as an LSU player, and I've finally got to experience it, and it's definitely been a dream of mine to kind of live up to this, and it's definitely been something that's basically my biggest dream. So it's definitely something that growing up in Louisiana is always kind of the goal of mine.
Those are my favorite. I remember, Alex Milazzo, Daniel, was an example of one, right? Just hopes and dreams. And he didn't know if he'd ever be able to play there. Man, you love to see a local kid who just dreams of playing somewhere, getting that opportunity.
Yeah, you can't beat it, man. Jim, he mentioned North Shore. Like, is that something like people like know? Like Louisiana people, that's just something. So like me not knowing that there's a place called like an area called the North Shore, like that's a problem.
So the best way you can actually understand it. You know how everybody in a suburban area of Memphis says they're from Memphis, but they're actually from Bartlett, Covington, Millington, whatever. Same thing, man, because everybody around the Baton Rouge, New Orleans area know all the surrounding areas, so they have an idea where you're from.
I'm just trying to figure out how the shore is north.
Well, there's a lake that divides New Orleans and Mandeville.
And let me tell you something, there's a parish everywhere, Daniel. There's always water.
Yeah, you're right.
So now it makes sense. See, that's why I needed clarity, man. Because when I'm thinking beach and I'm thinking Florida, I'm thinking
there's no beach.
I mean, there is a beach in Louisiana. It got ruined by an oil spill, and it just isn't the thing no more.
No. So I mean, the way hurricanes roll through that place, it's hard to keep beaches and sand. I would
But
imagine.
that still wasn't what to do it. It's I can't remember if Shell or Exxon or whoever, but that's a story for
Dang.
another day. But they messed up the beach.
Man, they need a landman out there. That's a shameless
The
plug.
question for you, Daniel, is I want you to ask your favorite question because you got to go Mandeville specific for them.
All right, so Mandeville, the shore, the northest of the shores. What's the one thing that if I went there where you're like, you got to go here or do this or see this?
Uh, hmm. I think Louisiana in general is known for fishing, so I think you kind of have to go fishing. But also, I'm pretty a big food guy, and I like food. So I'd say there's a place called Chimes, and there's one in Baton Rouge as well. But it's definitely a spot that you can kind of go in there and get literally whatever you want.
I'm willing to bet though, because I go to the one in Chimes or the Chimes in Baton Rouge all the time. I bet because that one is like right there on campus, and just I also know people like the people who work there. Is a constant cycle. People quit all the time. Like probably doesn't have the same setup as Mandeville and the consistency when it comes to just how everything's ran.
Yeah, it's definitely a different dynamic in Mandeville. It's definitely a lot bigger.
I would assume that they're taking more pride in what they're doing at the Chimes in Mandeville than the students are at the Baton Rouge location.
I'm gonna tell you, Daniel. Last time we were there, I wanted to go just run over to Chimes and get something to eat. I mean, if you hit it the right time, you can get in there. But if not, man, you'll already look and there's 100 people outside, and so you have to keep on moving.
People need that grub, bruh. All right, Cade. Obviously, family guy, North Shore, Mandeville. Who you got living with you? Mom, dad, brothers, sisters? What's the family dynamics looking like?
Yeah, mom and dad, brother and a sister. My both younger, and my sister's in high school, and my brother's 10.
Yeah. Dang, what's that like? Having
it's
a
definitely
10-year-old like.
Yeah.
Do you beat up on him? Do you pick on him a little bit? Do you like have some tough
That's
love?
too little to beat up on, man. That's a big guy,
man.
I tried to lead the way. It's fun. He's a catcher, so I'm a pitcher, and it's kind of been fun to lead him along the way.
Man, can you imagine having him catch for him? He's like, look, catch for me. K's coming out throwing 94, 95 at him.
Blow him through the backstop.
You'd be surprised. He's up and coming. We'll see.
But hey, I'll tell you this, Kate.
On the podcast.
I tell you, Kate, when we have guys on here all the time that are the younger sibling, they always say it was the older one that made them who they were. So you're creating a monster, dude.
Sure.
You know what's nice is if you go home at any point for break, you don't have to find somebody to catch. You could just what's he gonna say? No. That's when you throw them hands up.
Wherever I'm going. He can't drive. He's going wherever I'm going.
Yeah,
the
there you go.
They probably don't want to throw him break, man. This is the one chance that he actually gets to sit down for a second.
Well, I would say when I throw a high end 10 bullpen, he won't be catching that. But he's not there yet, but he'll be there.
I mean, it's got to be nice though, knowing that you're his brother and like what it takes to get to an elite level, and it's almost like you have a blueprint for him. He's just got to follow it.
Yeah,
so
it's fun. Sweet. Like him being my brother, like you wouldn't think like the things that he gets to do on a everyday basis, and like the people he gets to be around. I mean, he gets to be around the LSU baseball team like 24/7. The funny story. I'm laying in bed the other night, about to go to sleep, and Jake Brown's my roommate, and he walks in. He goes, "Well, I'm not on like my monitor playing Fortnite or whatever," and him, Jake Brown, Jared Jones, and I think one of the Pearsons were playing Fortnite, and they walked in like they thought I was playing. Well, my brother's got my Fortnite account, and he's playing Fortnite with these three stars at LSU. So it's a funny thing that he gets to be introduced to. So it's crazy.
Man,
that's the life right there.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of 10-year-olds can say they've been that.
Actually, I do know one. Well, he's 12 now, but that's actually the life that my son has gotten to do for the last 4 years. And I'm starting to wonder. I've been telling Daniel I'm starting because he's starting to get to that age. You know, he's fixing to be a teenager. How much longer will he want to do this with me? But goes with me to every stadium in America, gets to know all the players and do all these different things. But it's a cool thing when whether it's your little brother or whether it's my son, when they look up to these players and they get to be around them. And you just hope that it hopes to mold them to want to be something. Like even with my son, he doesn't play baseball, but he aspires to do different things, and they come off of that. So, like for instance, he'll go to the games and he'll start drawing the players because he's an artist, and so it just gives him inspirational things, and then also it gives him people skills because he talks to people all the time. So he gets something from it. But yeah, with your brother, I think of Daniel. I think of they always show like Steph Curry was at his dad's games. There's something about being in that atmosphere that makes you want to be there yourself, and then you have that brother as an inspiration. Yeah, that's what does it.
I mean, at the very least, he's going to be able to say he played Fortnite with professional baseball players, and he's going to be hitting the gritty at Fortnite all day.
I just hope he was sniping them and taking them out because that's even funnier.
No, I think they were playing together. But yeah, like you said, I think the family dynamic of it, and you look in the league of the holidays and the guys like that kind of grew up around the game. I think it's definitely it gives you the blueprint.
I mean, you brought up Pearson. We decided got crazy because it's something you don't really want to do because the amount of traffic on one episode, but we called it the Pearson Power Hour. Just went ahead all four of them on at once. I mean, because every one of them has a plethora of baseball knowledge, is skilled, and it's like, man, it's crazy. There's just that much in that family, and they're all so talented. But yeah, it's one of those cool things. The question I got for you, we haven't said nothing about your sister. Does she play sports?
She did gymnastics growing up, and arguably she might be the most athletic in the family.
I mean,
makes sense.
Me and Paul Skeens went in there and did some gymnastics, and I'm just going to say, Daniel keeps telling me the hardest thing to do is hit a baseball. I got up on that balance beam.
You could call it doing gymnastics. You could.
My point was it's harder to be up on that balance.
I think you were just standing on the beam.
Bro, I was
look, he wasn't even standing.
I did stand. You lie. I got the video. Look, the worst part was I tried to do it in jeans and tennis shoes. At least Paul was in shorts and bare feet, but they were laughing and they were like, "You want help?" And I was like, "No, I got this." But my intentions initially were going to be to try to do a flip into the foam pit off there, but I couldn't get my feet stable enough that I was like, "I'm just good walking on
it." He laid down and like shimmied across it. He was like, "I did it." No, he didn't do all that, but he definitely was not comfortable.
You know what though? All jokes aside, we talk about the hitting the baseball. Like if I stood in the box, I'm not gonna be able to hit anything Kade throws either. So I mean, I'm not gonna win in either case.
Neither could I. And I played the game.
You were a pitcher. You didn't swing anyway.
The reality is like if one of us is going to have a shot at hitting a baseball, I'm going to put my money on me.
Well, of course.
Because I will say I can swing the shit out of a fungo.
Hey, I tell you what,
I told Derek that the other night. I could still swing a fungo.
I tell you what, Daniel, I'm going to bring this scenario. I'm curious to what he'll say right here, Kade. So my wife has been giving me all sorts of crap. I have a torn pectoral. I'm supposed to be in a sling. Need to get surgery really, but we were at a kid's birthday party Saturday. They were at the trampoline park, and all the dads were trying to jump off this little mini tramp and dunk on this 10-foot goal. None of them can do it. And I'm laughing. And they're like, you could do it. And I was like, I can do it. And they were like, $100 says you can't. So anyway, go up there, jump off the tramp. Not only dunk two-handed, swing on there like Kobe, yell out and everything. It's all cool. Now my whole shoulder, all the way down my arms, purple and black. I tore it the whole rest of the way. So I ask you, in that moment when you're challenged, money's on the line, even though you're hurt, like you got a baseball career right now, so that's different. If you're in my shoes, man, you're a 40-year-old man, you ain't got nothing. I ain't got to pitch next weekend. You going out there and showing out?
Yeah, I think I would.
See, it's a guy thing. My wife don't get it.
I'm a competitive guy, and I mean, when you get challenged like that, I think like you can't back down to that.
See, I like this, Daniel. I knew. I mean, it's not just about the purple and gold. He's got a good head on his shoulders.
I mean, I think part of what your wife's issue is now she has to deal with your ass afterwards in pain, moaning and groaning about it when
That's neither here nor there. Back to
right.
Kate's story. Back to Kate's story.
So
Don't start lecturing me.
Kate, obviously, to get to where you're at, it takes a lot of people and a lot of influence. So, who would you say is your biggest baseball influence growing up?
Yeah, I would argue. I think it's my dad, and he kind of showed me the game when I was little, and definitely been my biggest role model, and just giving me motivation every day to continue to get better. And it's definitely been a hard process at times, and I think he's definitely been kind of the guy that has been able to push me over it.
I mean, it clearly worked because you were ranked the number 2 overall player in Louisiana by perfect game in 2023. You're ranked as the number 19 left-handed pitcher and the number 130th overall player in the nation by perfect game. No big deal. Just, in the nation. You posted a .22 career ERA at St. Paul's High School. You went 28-1. Damn, dude, you got to do better. 28-1. Come on, bro.
Losing the game. How dare you?
Jeez. Then on top of that, Jim, the K strikes out 212, and he said, "You know what? I'm going to hit 418 while I'm doing it. 120 hits, 9 home runs, 3-time All-State, 4-time All-District at St. Paul's High School. Earned Player of the Year honors." How when you look and you hear all that, you got to look back and go, man, high school was fun, man. How much fun did you really have?
Yeah, I mean it was fun, but I had TJ my junior year, so the pitching statistics could have been a little better. So I didn't get to pitch my
Daniel,
junior
they could have been better. We just said .22 ERA, 28-1.
I want to know who got you for that 28-1. Who got you?
I bet he knows. He knows.
Who got who's
Who's the loss?
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't remember.
Come on, Kate, to be one of the greats, that's got to be like your bulletin board material. You got to have it like on your wall to remember that's that team.
Well, yeah, it's a high school team. I'm worried about the Auburns and the Mississippi State.
Turn them into art. Look, I have a hatred toward Arkansas. You can just put it towards them, but like, you know what? Maybe you find a guy that's on that team that maybe you're possibly going to play. That's what you do.
It's like when Marshawn Lynch, he's like, I know I'm gonna get got, but I'm gonna get you more than you get me. And that's how
you got to bring up Marshawn Lynch.
Hey,
on this show. He's probably a Saints fan too. Why would you do that to us?
It is.
Yeah, I was at the game on Sunday. It wasn't fun.
Oh, man, I know. Right when we start looking like we're going to do good, and then Taysom Hill's out for the season, it's time.
Yeah, whatever happened to him? Like, what was the diagnosis?
He tore something in his knee, which I wonder which knee it is. They didn't say, because if you remember, he was actually going to be a big time draft prospect coming out of college, but he tore his ACL 4 times at BYU. So I'm curious if it's the same knee or not. But I mean, it's bound to happen when a guy plays basically every snap on the field.
I mean, it's all good. He'll be back because he ain't like CMC. He's Taysom. He's gonna be back, ready.
The CMC thing is crazy. They held him out for so long to protect him.
I think that's detrimental to him. I mean, how do you? It's like you're good to go, and you wait and you wait and you wait and you wait, and then like at some point you bust out the shoots because you're able to play, and like you're probably giving it more intensity than maybe you should. But I don't know. That's just me. He's a little fragile though.
I don't know. I know baseball injuries. I'm just gonna stick to that.
There you go. All right, Cade. So obviously, all the accolades, all the success through high school, you're a highly coveted recruit. Being a Louisiana guy, was it always LSU, or why choose LSU? What was it?
Yeah, so I don't think I have to even say, but yeah, I'm from Louisiana. There's no other place I would ever want to be. And I got offered my 8th grade year. I wasn't in high school, but in my 8th grade year, I committed. And I got offered the same day I committed, and as soon as I got the offer, it was set in stone. Like, this is where I'm going to be.
Didn't
All
even
right,
have to talk to nobody. You already know.
No,
yeah, I'm gonna finally ask this question because every time somebody says that they were recruited and signed when they were in 8th grade, what the hell do they say to you as an 8th grader? What does a grown
He,
ass man do?
I can't. Hey,
To,
I'm sorry ahead of
like,
time, Cade. He put this pressure on you because you had to have been the 30th guy who said 8th grade, and he's picking you to be the one.
I just don't understand how a college coach can walk to an 8th grader and go, "Hey, man, we want you," and feel good about themselves doing this. But mind you, like, what
Well,
does it
that's why
tell?
they changed the rule. But I mean, you got to get to them
Well,
early, and it's not like it's LSU
I,
exclusive. Mike
I get
Bianco
it,
is
but
probably
like,
the king of doing it 8th grade.
I
yeah,
mean,
I think.
Kay's probably still watching Nickelodeon. I mean, so what is the conversation like? Is it like directed to you, or is this like a collaborative conversation with your parents? Because I feel like it's just very strange for, like I said, a grown ass man to sit there in front of an 8th grader and go, "Hey, you're gonna." It's almost like you're coming to LSU, and you're like, okay, yeah, sure."
Yeah, I'm not even sure I had a phone at the time, but my dad was kind of the middleman, and kind of talked to him, and I mean I think, yeah, being recruited in Louisiana, I think it's easy for the recruiting coordinators to kind of get to Louisiana guys, and I think going back, it's hard to get the top guys, and you got to kind of get on them early, like Jim said. It's definitely a battle, and during that time, I think I was playing in a tournament. There's dudes from all over recruiting 8th graders. It's crazy, but I think it's definitely better that it's your junior year. And obviously, I wouldn't have ever changed like my commitment, but
Especially
maybe,
because Mary recruiting you, and it's a legendary status. There's no way, as an LSU fan, you're not taking that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it was a dream of mine. Like, I think I cried when I got it. I was in 8th grade. It was a dream. So.
I got a question for you. I never intended on asking this, but thinking about it, being that you're an LSU fan growing up, Maneri was, who was coaching and recruited. How excited are you, just as a general baseball fan, as somebody, who I think would root for him to do well no matter what? Like, excited to see him get another opportunity at South Carolina.
Yeah, he was the guy I committed under. So I think he's got a lot of trust in me, and I had a lot of trust in him. Yeah, it's I think it's good for the game, and but as of now, he's an enemy now, and I can't look at him like that.
Last weekend of the season, going to South Carolina, we're going to talk about that because y'all got to.
So hold on, I gotta know now, like, if does the coach even matter? Like, for like a kid like you that's from Louisiana and LSU is like the thought, and now you have the opportunity to go there. Does it even matter who the head coach is? Could it be just like Jabroni John, and because it's LSU, you're like, yeah, I'm going
But
there.
the problem with your scenario is LSU's never going to hire anybody but the best.
No, but what I'm saying is like
Yeah.
you get attached and you feel a personal connection to Paul Maneri, and then when it's time to actually go to school, which, I mean, that's a long time from 8th grade until you graduate high school and you're going into college. Like, that's a eternity for college coaches these days. So like, the reality is as an 8th grader, if you commit to that person, it's pretty likely that they may not even be there when you go. So it's like, well, what do you do? And I was just curious, like, if the coach, you knew they were going to hire someone good. So did the coach even matter at that point?
Yeah, as I've said the whole podcast, I think, I committed to play at LSU. I didn't commit for a coach, but at the same time, I think it does play a part in, like, it is the development of, like, my career, and like,
I mean, we've seen it, man. Pitching coaches matter.
yeah, I
mean,
think 100%. And I didn't know Coach Yeski. I was moved in in a dorm when Coach Yeski was hired as a pitching coach, and I was actually hitting when I was a 2A. I was hitting the cages. He walked in. That's how I was introduced. But I think, yeah, I was committed to play at LSU, and Coach Johnson called me the day that he got hired, and I think set in stone that I was coming here. And I mean, I've trust in yeah, honestly, at the end of the day, I've trust in LSU, and like Jim said, like they're only going to hire the best, and
I
so
mean, when he does actually go to come there, Daniel, they're coming off a national championship, so he
yeah,
knows what he's
it's good
getting
timing.
into. The question I have for you, because you're talking the way you keep talking about LSU and what it means. Did you happen to see Nussmeier's speech after the game against Oklahoma?
I didn't see. I think I saw clips of him. I think
Him just
he talked.
talking
It
about
was the one
what
on
it
the
means.
field.
Yeah, what it means
Yeah,
to wear purple and gold and have LSU across his chest. Those are the things that, man, like, guys can have bad games like he's had, but that's a guy I want at my helm. A guy who,
yeah,
he looked like he wasn't even going to come back in the game, comes back out there, gets it done, but just talks about what it means to be at that university, wear those colors, have those 3 letters across his chest. Those are like, that's my guy. Like, going into next year, I have now forgotten. I'm going off the high note. Like, he came back from injury. He said what I needed to hear. Like, that's who I want to lead my team. And I think that's what I feel from you. You can tell, man, wearing those 3 letters across your chest, wearing those colors just means something different for you than it may other people.
yes, sir. I think we talk about this a lot in kind of the team aspects of things, but it's funny how like all like the Louisiana captains, like they always kind of lead the way, and I think it just kind of goes back to it just means more, and
Mhm.
I think yeah, the Belosos and the Dugas, Malazzos like of the world, like they just kind of know, and
That's one of my
uh,
favorite stories on the whole national championship run. We've had most of the guys, right? We had Cruz, Skeens, Morgan, all them, but Beloso was actually our first LSU baseball guy. Daniel telling you all the way back in 2020. And we watched him go through injury. We watched him, end up on the bench when Morgan had went in, and to see him that year, he had to start in a shuffling designated hitter role, and then to end up being who I actually thought was the most
yeah.
outstanding player of the College World Series, just because Paul only gets to pitch so much, but Beloso made his mark through the whole thing. To see a Louisiana kid at LSU get a 5th year, get an opportunity like that, and do that, man, they could do a 30 for 30 on him for real.
Yeah, I think it goes back to it's a dream for Louisiana kids to play here, and I think the guys that have kind of led the way in past years is just taught it the right way, and just it's an honor for the Louisiana guys. Not that it's not an honor for all the other guys, but I think it just means a little more.
Well, I'll put it to you in perspective on how I understand that. Daniel knows this. So last year, I don't know if you remember me being on the field for the Florida game for the military salute.
Oh yeah,
But I got asked prior to doing that at Ole Miss, and I was like, I only want to do it at LSU if I'm going to do it somewhere. It just hits different, and so
yeah,
I understand that. I wanted to be out there on the field wearing purple and gold and do it, and so it just hit different. I don't know how you guys do it, man. You're on the bump. Look, I looked out, and obviously it was packed, that Florida game, and I was just looking for all of like 30 seconds, which felt like an eternity. And I don't even have to do anything but wave. You got to actually pitch. Daniel, I would have never been made for this moment. I could
yeah.
not perform.
My first outing, I started the 4th game of the season last year, and it was definitely it was definitely crazy, like it was insane. Like there's so many fans, and but you kind of go back to this is why you're here,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
simple as
Skeens
that.
talked about it, coming from Air Force, being that first weekend and being electric and never having seen anything like that, and how, he even got nerves. Like, I mean, I think anybody, is lying to you if they say they don't, especially in a packed Alex Box house. But let's get into that freshman, season. I talked about the national championship coming off like a national championship season. What is that like, because a lot of people will have bigger expectations because you've now won national championship. Jay Johnson's done that, but also then there's the flip side. There's a lot of guys walk. So what's that environment like when you're walking in? Does it feel like added pressure because you need to carry on what they did, or does it feel like the weight's kind of off because they did just win a national championship? Like, what was it like for you?
No, yeah, I think they raised the floor, and it was definitely hard to kind of come off maybe the best college season of all time. But yeah, I think we had a couple of guys like Malazzo kind of lead the way and kind of understand that this is how we're going to go about it. And I think it helped that we had guys that were on the national championship team that came back and kind of showed us that, man, it's going to be hard at times when, I mean, but at the same time, I think LSU gets everyone's best. Like, no matter if we lost in the regional or we won the national championship. So I think LSU just kind of breeds those type of atmospheres, and I think everyone's out for blood when they come for us.
Absolutely. So, have an outstanding freshman season, make 18 appearances, 9 starts, posting a 4-2 record with a 3.99 ERA, 59 strikeouts, and 38 innings. Personally, obviously Daniel can talk about how you're the number, whatever guy in the nation, whatever guy in the state, but when you get there, everybody's good. So do you expect to get that much action, your freshman season?
Yeah, so I was coming off TJ, and I didn't pitch my junior or senior year, so I didn't pitch for a while, and I think like you talked about the Skeens and guys like that, and Coach Yessie kind of build the way of kind of how to mentally approach these kind of things, and it was definitely everyone's good in the locker room, and it's kind of how you kind of do the little extra to kind of get ahead of those guys, and I think, there's definitely a lot of ups and downs throughout my season, and there's definitely a lot of areas to work on. But yeah, I don't really look at the rankings because honestly, in my opinion, if I were to look at the rankings, that they're ranking me based off that I'm hurt, so I think it's dumb.
Well, obviously, I feel like you did fantastic. Like you said, you had some ups and downs, but you finished, strong, especially in Chapel Hill. I'm curious about this, and Daniel may know a lot more about this, but I wasn't a pitcher. So what's it like, man, pitching in 2 different games in one day? We're not talking about a little league, showcase. We're talking about regional baseball on the road. Like, what was it like? Obviously you get the one, but when you're going to get the pitch again, how do you get ready? Is it the same? Is it different? Like, explain to me that process.
Yeah, I think the adrenaline helps a lot, and kind of get in the moment, and I think that kind of shows that. Like, it just like we've been talking about, I'll do whatever it takes, and yeah, I think it's definitely fun. Like, I want to get into the action every game. I wish I could pitch every game because why wouldn't you? But yeah, it's definitely something I've never done before. But Coach Johnson said he needed me in that situation, so I was all for it.
Yeah, that's awesome, and man, to see you shine in both moments was really cool. So the final question I got, just in regards to last season, when it comes to freshmen, there's so much we talk about it, from whether it's the workouts, the nutrition, obviously being on the road in the SEC, academics, everything comes into play. So I ask you, what would you say you learned the most last year?
Yeah, I think I learned from a lot of failures, and um, I'd say that school doesn't really come that hard to me, but I'd say that, yeah, the nutrition side of things is kind of really something I have to really work at. I'm a skinny guy, and the genetics aren't there for that, so that's something that that's my daily this is what I got to get done. So it's definitely something, we're traveling a lot, so it's hard to maintain weight, and so it's definitely something that I had to continue to kind of really work on.
Yeah, Derek was talking about that last night. You and Derek both need to be on the bulk meal plan, but he's obviously smaller than you. But hey, the way you're throwing, you're doing just fine. But as you continue to grow and get stronger, man, I can only imagine what's going to happen. So just, man, make sure you keep hitting that weight room, keep eating them bigger meals. But let's talk fall ball. I got to go down there and watch you pitch 2 different times. Really impressed. I talked about that last night. I was really impressed with Kade Woods too. I was like, man, we got a double dose of Kade out here, dominating. Obviously, everybody's talking about Shores, and then you got Guidry, and I mean, obviously, I can do the names all day, man. That pitching staff, and I saw a thing today where people were ranking it as the number 1 pitching staff in the SEC, and I agree. I haven't got to see everybody in depth, but how are you feeling after you saw this pitching staff all fall?
Yeah, I mean, trust, and I think that's the one word to describe it. We got guys that throw strikes, and I think that was really a focus on our staff. And you gotta fill up the strike zone, and we got a lot of guys that, I mean, I think we had 15 or 16 guys that threw 95, which is insane. But I think we got a lot of guys that, and I think no one's over their head. Like, I think everyone's kind of knows where they're at, and no one kind of gets a big head about it. And I think we're looking like we work, and I think our pitching staff's really good at kind of developing a really good work ethic. So I think Coach Yesky's done a good job of kind of bringing in the right guys and kind of setting in stone this is how it's going to be done.
Yeah, and in typical LSU fashion, typical righty lefty, sets of guys. Last year, obviously, we had a ton of lefties, but that was an anomaly, I feel like. But a lot of strength there on the hitting side. You get to face these guys. Give me a couple guys, not the upperclassmen that everybody knows, like a Jared Jones or Josh Pearson. Who's a couple guys that have stood out to you that you think people need to really keep on their radar?
I'm going to give one guy, and I think his name's Mick Paul, and I'm not sure if anyone knows who he is, but I think he's the biggest sleeper, and honestly, I think he's without a doubt, like I think everyone will say it, he's the hardest worker on the team, and he deserves it. So,
yeah,
that's the guy that he started against ULL in Lafayette, and that was definitely something that kind of he worked for, and I think he's definitely a sleeper that got not many people know about, but definitely has a chance.
Yeah, no, we in my LSU group, we talked about him a lot last year. We know obviously he brings both sides of the ball to the table, but he in that last fall game that I was at, I feel like he took DJ Primo because DJ Primo's a guest this show. So I was like, I think he took him deep. So I saw exactly what you were talking about because he made sure his presence was felt there. And it was the Alabama weekend. So there was a lot of people that were walking in there watching that day, trickling in. And so they got a good performance. There's quite a few bombs that day. I think Jared Jones had that grand slam also. But, I was talking about the schedule this year because we were talking about the South Carolina thing. And I talked about this with Derek, but the difference is Derek's never experienced it. You have the SEC gauntlet. Me and Daniel talked about this. I've been covering college baseball for 5 years now. Never seen a 4-game or 4-weekend stretch this hard. It's Tennessee at LSU, LSU at A&M, Arkansas at LSU, LSU at South Carolina. For you as a competitor, and when you're at LSU, you're expecting to be playing best of the best. When you see that gauntlet, just how excited do you get? Because that's the stretch run that prepares you for the postseason. So when you look at that, man, does it get your juices flowing, like thinking about getting to play those 4 teams in a row?
Yeah, I think I got to experience it last year. I think we got put through a gauntlet, and I think we were 3-12 at one point. And if we can bounce back from that, I'm worried about like just one game at a time. And I think we got the right guys on the team that can do that. But yeah, I think we got some tough opponents that we're not really worried about, honestly, but just taking it one step at a time. And I think we got a good matchup, and I think we got pitching, we got hitting, and I think, like I said, I trust all the coaches, and I think we'll be ready.
Yeah, no doubt. So the last question I got for you, this was the fan question. So I'm looking to see who all you got. You got at Texas, you got at Oklahoma, you got at Auburn, at A&M, and then at South Carolina. Like I said, they wanted to know which one did you look forward to, just going to in general. Like, I mean, a lot of those are, prestigious ballparks, maybe not Alex Box, but really nice venues, great crowds. Like, if you could just pick one, which one are you excited to go to the most?
Yeah, I think I'm excited to go to A&M, and I've heard
you may not be from. Hey, look, Daniel, how many pitchers that aren't from A&M have came on this show and said that was the one that stands out to me the most? Landon Sims, I've never seen get rattled, and he said it feels like they're right on top of you. Daniel, am I wrong? Or not just Landon, but Texas A&M seems to be one pitchers really don't like.
I mean, on top of all their chants that they have. And the bubbles, and like
all I could do was laugh in Omaha this year when they had the bubble guns. Like, all I can do is laugh. I can't even make fun of them. I just go with it, man. Let them celebrate how they celebrate.
Yeah, let them do them, man. They enjoy it.
They're gonna be, but Kade knows it. That whole team is back. Obviously, we've had Laviolette and Prager and them on the show. Like, that's gonna be if LSU is every bit as good as I think they will and hope they will be, Daniel. That's the best series, period. So I think it's the right one for them to pick, and it'll be a chance for LSU to go into that place where they're going to be packed. I mean, their fall games were sold out. So I think it's the right one. And the fact that he's not scared of it because that's the one he's looking forward to, it just makes me feel that much more confident.
Yeah, it's like you said, you're gonna have the target on your back, and even though you're not the defending national champions, your LSU and the history behind the program automatically puts targets on your back. So you're gonna get everyone's best on top of the gauntlet of just SEC play. But you know, the way that I look at it is do you know how you eat an elephant, Cade?
Yep, one bite at a time.
That's right. It's one game at a time. You can't
Yeah.
get caught up into what's happening at the start of May because you'll lose sight of what's before that. So
Yeah.
one game at a time, really, just it's very much coach speak, but one pitch at a time, one at bat at a time, one, play at a time, one inning, and kind of take it from there. But a lot of good things going for you guys, a lot of good talent that you guys have. The fall has been very good for you, and hopefully the spring will bring you guys back to where you belong in Omaha, maybe with the opportunity to hoist up another national championship trophy. But we appreciate you coming on. And before you get out of here, we got to play the game that's sweeping the country. It's called This or That. Are you ready to play?
Yeah.
All right. So it's very simple. I give you two options. You choose one option or the other. You can't say both. Can't say neither. You got to be decisive. You got to go with your heart, your head, your gut, whatever you're feeling. Just pick one and go with it. You good?
Yep.
You ready?
Yep.
Jim, This or That's brought to you by who?
I'm not going to do Chinook Cedar tonight. You notice I rotated my camera. I got the Cruise, the Skeens. I got the signed you gotta remember who's behind me before I quote the wrong person. I was making sure it was Jake Brown. I thought it might be Gavin Guidry. Jake Brown poster over my side. Shout out to Chad Jones. That's not athletic collection, but his autographed jersey he sent me. But go over the athletic collection, Daniel. Posters, shirts, all the different swag, stickers, whatever you name it. Hey, Kade Anderson may have something there. I don't even know. But go get your stuff. And of course, Daniel, I'll throw out Chinook Cedar, 8 flavors, mild wild. Go get them. Best in the game.
That's right. They fit perfectly in stockings. So if you have a little baseball player out there, poster too, man. Rolled up, bam. Look at us. We're throwing ideas out there left and right, man. All right, Cade. First question out the gate. Coffee or energy drink?
Ooh. Energy drink.
Ooh, what's your energy drink of choice?
The White Monster.
White Monster. Like if you're either gonna ride the bull or you're gonna get crazy with some Monster. And I see you, man. The white one.
I just know your teammate Derek Carrell. We've had this question. We have only been doing it for last 40 guests, maybe, Daniel, and none of them said neither. And he's the first. As a matter of fact, that's against the rules. And he said,
well,
honestly,
he
I
did
don't really drink either, but if I had to pick one, I'd go energy drink.
He did narrow it down. He did say that he would go energy drink.
But he said he wakes up with all this endless energy anyway, doesn't need it. And Daniel was like, bottle it up and sell it to me.
Yeah, no, man. Like if you got kids, like you would pay top dollar for energy. Just something like it could be like air, a jar full of air. You just be like, hey, smell this energy. And if it got me pumped up, I'd buy it.
The Lorax, he does sell air. I know you've seen kids' movies.
The Lorax. No, I haven't seen the Lorax. But
are you lying to me right now?
I mean,
it's Dr. Seuss, man. What are you doing?
I've read the book and I know the Lorax.
You always give these guests assignments to watch a sports movie or something they've never seen. I'm giving you as a father, you better break out the Lorax for your little girls.
Yeah,
I'll buy it for you for Christmas. I got you.
You're wasting your money, bro. They ain't got the attention span to sit and watch the Lorax. Even though Bella did go see Wicked, and Michelle said she did pretty good. So there's that.
Well, when they get the attention span to sit through a baseball game, you got to get the Alex box with them. I'm just saying.
Hey, it's soon. All right, Kate. Ham or turkey? It's holiday season. What are you going with?
Turkey, but it has to have gravy on top of it.
A little turkey gravy. I see you. All right, big showdown this week. LSU's not playing, but you got Georgia and you got Texas SEC championship. Who's taking it?
I'm gonna have to go with Texas. I grew up playing baseball with Arch Manning, so kind of know him, and yeah, it's kind of.
Nice. Oh, Kate, I'm gonna need you to pick that thing up. Pick
Sure.
that. I need you to pick it up.
What are you talking about?
That name he just dropped.
That was the
That's a
biggest dad. You've never done a dad joke type thing, and you just did it. I can't believe it. I'm
I
embarrassed.
love it. I love it. All right. Would you rather go back in the past or fast forward to the future?
I hope to look in the future and hope to see myself succeeding.
Okay. Well, you have if the past few years are any indication of where you're going, I'm pretty sure your future is bright. And this next question, fame or fortune, you'll probably have both.
Yeah,
I
fortune.
can say both because I created the game. So
Yeah, fortune. Sure.
fortune. Oh
Hey,
yeah.
speaking of bright, I was thinking colors. Daniel, I meant to put this in there because that was the other one the fans asked. Which uniforms do you prefer, the purple or the gold?
Ooh, that's yeah. I'm not sure if a lot of our guys on the team really like understand the meaning behind the gold, but yeah, 100% the gold.
Well, it was an interesting dynamic the year before because purple meant Skeens was pitching,
Yeah,
right? And so every guest would say, typically I'd say gold, but purple means Paul. So it was always funny. How did you feel about, the whites with the different piping and everything? Like, I thought they were sharp. You like the whites?
yeah. I like the whites, and yeah, like you said, the purple, and we got Skeens 2 years ago, and Luke Holman wore them. So I mean, those are two guys that wore that jersey and
I mean, the thing
dominated.
is, y'all don't have a bad uniform. That's the beauty of it. It doesn't matter which
Yeah,
one you're
yeah,
in, right?
yeah.
Very true. It's when you throw purple into anything, it's really hard to like get the right color scheme. But you guys do it well. You do a good
The
job.
one thing I'll say, and I'm very in a minority on this, Cade, only because covering baseball the way I do, I've been to all these different places and I've seen these teams who do implement black, but specifically with the purple and gold, ECU does it. I know the traditionalists don't want anything to do with black, but man, black with purple and gold on it would be sharp. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and back in the day, LSU baseball used to have a black vest. I think yeah, it was pretty cool.
And those people rioted. Those posters said, "Not up in here."
Hey, anything's better than what that football team wore last week with those gold jerseys. Retire those things. I don't know what they were doing.
Yeah, it wasn't.
True that. All right, minor league baseball time. Would you rather be a yard goat or a trash panda?
Honestly, I'm not really. I don't really know. I'll just go yard goat.
It's the
Well,
right answer. They're the best mascots. I actually have both signed, so I can't wear them. But I guess that we've had that played for them. But last or two night, yeah, is it Tuesday? Yeah, last night on the Cyber Monday sale, one of our other hosts of our other show hit me up and he's like, of course he hits me up with 10 minutes left before the sale ends and says, hey man, they got the hats half off, and so I went and got another Yard Goats hat so I could wear it actually out. But it's an elite mascot, so when you're on your way up to the pros, if you can put on a uniform, you want to be a Hartford Yard Goat. No,
shout
actually,
out,
because that means he'll be playing for the Rockies. Take that back.
yeah,
Love that whole thing.
shout out to Mike Hughes. That's a typical Mike Hughes move.
10 minutes
10,
left.
10 minutes left to go. Hey man, I think you
Hey,
should
I
hop
got
on
4 hats for $80, man, and free shipping. Let's go.
it. He probably knew about this sale for 2 weeks. And he waited for 10 minutes left. All right. Mardi Gras or Halloween?
Ooh, Mardi Gras.
Yeah, I heard that Mardi Gras is a big to do.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I'm
personally
from the
haven't.
New Orleans area, so that's what we do.
Hey, get it, man. Get it. Would you rather attend a concert or a sporting event? I'm not talking about like you go into some little dive bar and you're watching I'm talking about like the mecca of all concerts or the mecca of all sporting events. Which would you choose?
Yeah, probably a sporting event, but I do really enjoy music, so that was kind of a hard one.
Did you by chance get to go to Garth Brooks at Death Valley?
I didn't go to Death Valley one, but I went to the one in what's it called in the Superdome.
Yeah, I didn't realize that it was when it was, and then the next weekend I was down there, and Rodney Beloso and George Cruz and Jacques Jobert were just talking about how awesome it was, and I was like, how did I miss that was last weekend, and how did I not go, man? 100,000 people and Garth Brooks. I don't know what I was doing.
Missed out on old Garth. Chris Gaines himself. I bet Kay don't even know about Chris Gaines.
I don't.
So Garth Brooks, after a very long career, he decided he wanted to do like a alternate like thing, and he called himself Chris Gaines. But
I didn't even know what you were talking about. You just schooled me.
There you go. Look it up. He's out there. Chris Gaines got some hits out there. All right. Would you rather skydive or bungee jump?
Ooh, skydive. I haven't done either.
Would you, like, realistically, like for me, like if I had to choose one of these two, I would do bungee jump because I have, but like I don't want anything to do with skydiving. And if it was something else equivalent to skydiving, I wouldn't want to do either. But would you really do one of these two?
Yeah, I think I'd do skydiving, but it'd have to be in like a pretty cool atmosphere. Like it'd have to be like over some mountains.
So I just had the funniest thought. So because Derek said he wanted to go skydiving too. Look, Daniel, you want to watch Jay Johnson have a heart attack? Find out his guys went skydiving.
Yeah,
that would be great. That'd be great. You wouldn't. You could do it, but you wouldn't be able to tell them until after the fact because once your feet hit the ground, like.
I could see if they were on a plane and he knew about it and they hadn't done it yet, he would be in another plane pulling up beside it.
He'd be in a plane skywriting a letter to them dudes. Transfer. No, he wouldn't do that. Last question. 5 years in jail or 10 years in a coma?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
No, it's not. It's really not, Kate.
I'm not sure. I'll go 5. I'll go 5 years in jail.
Yeah.
I mean,
Daniel, hold on, Daniel. Let's be clear on something. You keep telling these guys that, and jail is bad. But when you do 10 years in a coma, you realize you keep saying it's a nap, but when you wake up, your body, you haven't done anything. So for Kade, he's not going to be playing sports.
I would rather do nothing than do everything. And I mean, 5 years in jail, you're probably doing everything. And that's not me.
Maybe Kade ain't scared, bro.
I mean, hey, I'm tipping my hat to him, but I'm not going to jail. I'm not. I told you last night.
I'm just saying that I'm not either.
I told you last night. I'm not even going to drive by it.
I mean, if the cops are coming for me, Daniel, I'm definitely running and leaving town. I don't want to go.
Gotta get out of here. All right, Kade, man. You crush it, dude. Anything you want to plug or promote before you bounce out of here?
Honestly, just promote the LSU baseball team. I think every fan in the country knows who LSU baseball is. But look forward to a good season, and I appreciate y'all's time.
Absolutely, Kade. We appreciate you, man. I hope you have a safe, successful, healthy, and magical year. Who knows? You guys could be hoisting another SEC championship, another national championship. Those are two big things.
We are, dude. I'm calling it. I'm getting bold right here. I'm doing it.
Wow. If it happens, he's gonna clip this little portion of this interview out and he's gonna post it on. He's gonna have a billboard out there. Just
as a matter of fact, give me LSU and A&M in the final.
You know what's great is if that is the final, you get to see that.
I'll be there. I'll be watching Kade go against Jace Laviolette and Gavin Grahovac in the stud lineup, and I'm not going to be scared.
No, Kade ain't scared either. But Kade, we appreciate you, man. Like I said, anything you need along the way, reach out to us. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all.
Yep, that's Kade Anderson, everybody. If you like hearing Kade's story or you just like hearing us average Joes talk X's and O's, please like and share the podcast on Facebook. retweet us on X, listen and subscribe wherever you stream your podcast. As always, go over to YouTube, click like, click subscribe, click notifications. That way, when this interview is uploaded, you're the first to know, and you could be the first person to listen to it. That'd be badass, Jim, if you were the first to listen.
They won't be, because I'll be the first one every time because I listen back to us. But
You just ruin folks' dreams. But either way, you can be number 2. Be number 2. All right. We got another good one tomorrow. Jim, who we got tomorrow? We're talking gymnastics.
Yeah, Danae Fletcher, 2-time national champion from Oklahoma, going for one last ride, hoping to get 3 in 4 years, which would be a dynasty. And Daniel, it's, we're predicting championships. Just Oklahoma's going to be in there with LSU, so LSU in another one.
I mean, the odds are really good for Oklahoma. Let's just say that, and they have a lot of chips on their shoulders after last season, so I'm sure they got a lot to prove. And it'll be nice to talk to Danae tomorrow to get her story and see where they're at, where their head is, and what the expectations are for the upcoming season. But this has been the In Off the Bench podcast. As always, remember, strong body, sharp minds, grit and grind all the time. We out.